Asia Prime, the year 2021 saw 3 spacecraft arrived at Mars in quick successions, including NASA's Perseverance rover, which relayed stunning images of the spacecraft 7 minutes of terror landing.
Elsewhere, NASA launched a spacecraft on a mission to smash into an asteroid in a $330 million project with echoes of the Bruce Willis movie Armageddon.
The year in space began with a bang as Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit reached space. The company said a 70-foot-long Launcher 1 rocket released from beneath the wing of a Boeing 747 aircraft off the coast of Southern California reached orbit. It was an auction that was out of this world. In February, Christie's in New York put a treasure trove of space rocks under the hammer, including one of the largest lunar slices on Earth, which sold for over $500,000. In early February, a spacecraft from the United Arab Emirates swung into orbit around Mars in a triumph for the Arab world's first interplanetary missions. Ground controllers at the UAE Space Center in Dubai rose their feet and applauded when word came that the unmanned craft called Amal had reached the end of its nearly 7-month, 300 million-mile journey and had begun circling the red planet, where it will gather detail on Mars' atmosphere. Following hot on its heels was NASA Perseverance rover, which landed in mid-February near an ancient river delta in Jezero crater. NASA released high-quality video of the spacecraft landing on Mars. This footage was so good that members of the rover team said they felt like they were riding along. Perseverance rover also sent back a set of sounds recorded on the surface of Mars. The lone microphone turned on for landing failed, but NASA got some snippets of sound after touchdown, the whirring of the rover system, and wind gusts. In March, Japanese firm Astroscale launched a special debris removal demo from Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. It's part of attempts to clean up the estimated 9,200 tons of space junk orbiting above our heads, threatening global communications, weather forecasting, even human spaceflight. NASA's experimental Mars helicopter rose from the dusty red surface into the planet's thin air in April, achieving the first power flight on another planet. The triumph was hailed as a Wright brothers moment. The mini 1.8 chopper named Ingenuity, in fact, carried a bit of wing fabric from the 1903 Freight Flyer, which made similar history at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. A NASA spacecraft packed with previous samples departed an asteroid in May, beginning its 2.5-year journey back home. The space agency's OSIRIS-REx descended to asteroid Bennu in October 2020, momentarily touching the surface to collect a handful of cosmic rubble. In June, NASA announced it was returning to sizzling Venus, our closest yet perhaps most overlooked neighbor after decades of exploring other worlds. The space agency's new administrator, Bill Nelson, announced 2 new robotic missions to the solar system's hottest planet during his first major address to employees. Solar arrays weren't the only items headed to the International Space Station aboard the SpaceX rocket in June. NASA also sent a collection of newly hatched bobtail squid. Researchers hope the experiment could help them understand how spaceflight affects interactions between beneficial microbes and their animal hosts. NASA's Perseverance rover successfully collected its first rock sample in September. The pen-sized tubes will be fetched by another mission in a decade to be analyzed on Earth. In October, Swiss researchers created software to virtually travel around the universe. Space enthusiasts can now see galaxies, planets, and the International Space Station in 3D from the comfort of Earth. Researchers pulled together what they call the largest data set of the universe to create 3-dimensional panoramic visualizations of space. A NASA spacecraft named Lucy rocketed into the sky in October on a 12-year quest to explore 8 asteroids. 7 of the mysterious space rocks are among swarms of asteroids sharing Jupiter's orbit, thought to be the pristine leftovers of planetary formations. Moon rocks brought to Earth by a Chinese robotic spacecraft last year provided new insight into ancient lunar volcanic activity, a senior Chinese researcher announced in October. Li Xinhua said an analysis of the sample revealed new information about the moon's chemical compositions and the way heat affected its development. In November, NASA launched a spacecraft on a mission to smash into an asteroid and test whether it will be possible to knock a speeding space rock off course if one were to threaten Earth. The DART spacecraft, short for Double Asteroid Redirection Test, lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in a $330 million project with echoes of Bruce Willis' movie Armageddon. Details of the most extreme events in space like exploding stars and black holes are set to be revealed with the launch of NASA's new X-ray telescope, the Imaging X-ray Polarimetry Explorer. Liftoff in December, and scientists are keenly anticipating what the new observatory might tell us about the universe. Scientists are targeting a late December launch for the much-delayed successor to Hubble, the James Webb Space Telescope. The next-generation observatory towers 3 stories tall and is designed to peer further into space and further back into time than any other spacecraft.
Completed all of our post-ship inspections, our post-arrival electrical tests, and we are currently in the process of loading or prepping the spacecraft.